at you again. Officer Shapat Dayakin. Dropping something heavy for these cowards out here. Yeah. Coming straight from 125th, 1 West, Harlem, New York. Home of the truth, nigga. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha. Kingdom's ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha. All day as we discuss how they don't like us. Gathered on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us, watch where you stepping. Cause a scene, you gon' see how brotherhood is a weapon. Tough skin protect our wrists, teach girls and kids devoutness. Call them prophetess, a priest damn near nothing without it. More than rubies, cute and understanding when describing. Virtue, loving, no lip from the daughters of Zion. Gold teeth, earrings, chains, and the rings. Precious metals, fabrics, emphatic stones, and everything. Trying to catch the slang, rewind what we rap and slang. Lost in parables, the scripture breakdowns terrible. Yasha, Prince of the power, we are the Jews. God on earth, you can see it by watching all our moves. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha. Kingdom's ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha. Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha. Kingdom's ours, all the heathens forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one, it was written. The men above me shout, Hum Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Hum Yasha.
Yeah. U.P.K shit, man, 1 West. Hey. I'm a U.P.K nigga, I'm stuck in my ways. That's on them, letting cowards fill up they ranks. Goddamn, lost tribes got them following waves. Loyalty a lifestyle, nigga, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm a saint, no New Orleans, it's going up. Next spot, we at the B&B. I'm turned up, I'll pull up in the SRT. Burning rubber, hey, U.P.K shit. Look, met her at the club, told her pull up to the lobby. She know I'm in the coat, we're all black, no Illuminati. This my other half shit, I can't move without it. These my motherfucking brothers, yeah, what I'm gonna do without them, yeah. If it's beef, I can't wait to sink my teeth in. Niggas going overboard, they off the deep end. Why you tripping off that hoe? That's some weak shit. Told him put me in the game cause I love defense. Yeah, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Yeah, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Ay, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, I ain't gotta settle, I got options, ma. No, I stand on business, my name not Tazar. I'll pop you with this pocket rock. Feed a nigga shells like a taco truck. Hey, this bitch got sound effects, it go. I I ain't tripping on no drink, got bottles in a room. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, bitch, it's 12 a.m. Look at them, they ain't none of us, and we ain't them. I told him, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, ayy, let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Ayy, bounce out, let my fringes swing, yeah. I'm a dog, ayy, she say she find me interesting, yeah. Want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, ayy, let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Ayy, bounce out, let my fringes swing, yeah. I'm a dog, ayy, she say she find me interesting. Want me to call, yeah, yeah. UPK shit, man, you already know what it is. It's the 55th annual Passover, man, turn up. We gon' do this shit the UPK way, not the other way. You hear me? Yeah, yeah.
Phones on music, right? You good? Yeah, I'm saying like a thumb. Yeah, how my thumb by Shimmy Al Shai. I.S.U.P.K. Washington DC Scripture Breakdown class every Wednesday. You all know you could get it in here. Of course, classes all day, every day of the week, online. No matter where you are, you don't have an excuse. You could definitely, get in, get all your questions answered every single day of the week. John Hyman does classes twice a week. Y'all could get it in Monday and Thursday as well. You know what I mean? So tonight we're going to go into more on Juneteenth. Y'all know we in that Juneteenth season. And it's damn near like June is turning into a damn near second Black History Month, right, with Juneteenth, because there's a lot of people who still, especially up north, like Juneteenth, I know was a very, very popular celebration or day in the South, right around, especially around Texas, Oklahoma, that region. And for years, it was just like a very popular family reunion. That's the best way I could describe it, because it was never given the respect or observed as a national holiday, as a nationwide holiday. You get the point? And, I know for sure up north, a lot of people did not know what the hell Juneteenth was. And still to this day, even though it was passed with legislation to be recognized as an official federal holiday, it's still very vague. People don't know. And this is why that critical race theory, to shut that down in schools is a disservice to the Black community. It's an absolute disservice to the 12 tribes, because not knowing certain things, it does harm. They say what you don't know can't hurt you. That's an absolute lie. That's more slick talk from the oppressor. You get the point? Like this was something that the oppressors refused to let the slaves know, to prolong slavery, to prolong their profit, to prolong their beliefs. And slavery by no means was just employment. By no means was slavery, employment and, people had jobs and all that shit. Don't believe none of that nonsense. You get the point? I think even till this day, certain states say they're not recognizing Juneteenth. Certain places ain't recognizing it. They don't give a damn. They're just not doing it because it's some nigga shit. But imagine some history of the Holocaust came out, and the Germans didn't release somebody at a certain time, or lied and said, yeah, this is not going on. Something. They would call it anti-Semitic. They would have a whole lot to say. They would, yell it from the mountaintops. You get the point? But only because it's us, everybody gets to sweep under the rug what was done to us, what's still being done to us, and the repercussions from the things that was done in history, right? It wasn't just the violence. is systematic or systemic, right? Systemic is like a virus that's in your blood, and as the longer you live, the worse the virus gets, and then you could pass it down to your children. That's the best way to understand the experience of slavery in America. It's something that's in you, that lives in you, lives with you. And the longer you live, the worse it gets. And you pass it down to your children. And they pass it down to theirs, with the same effects of the more time you have, the worse it gets. Then it never gets better. It just gets worse until you come into the truth, and now you can identify it. And then what you passing down to your children is reason more than symptom. You get the point? Is you passing down a reason and understanding more than symptoms now. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting, the whole Juneteenth argument, everything about it, and the fact that a lot of people don't know it, and especially devils. Devils don't know it, they don't understand it, and more so they give a damn. They don't care. As long as, Friday they get paid, that's fine. You know what I mean? So we're going to go into it for sure. Of course, you all know the drill. If anybody have any questions, put them in the chat, in the room, raise your hand. Go ahead, Bukash.
So I have a question. I was hearing on the radio that Kobe Bryant's wife, or widow, is not really dealing with his parents, right?
Okay.
So basically, they just cut them off because now they're selling some of his memorabilia just to like stay afloat and whatnot.
Okay.
So the question is like, if a brother like has, because when a brother passes on, he's supposed to give his inheritance to an heir, basically mainly his firstborn son.
Okay.
But if he doesn't have a son, and he just let's just say he has all girls.
Mm-hmm.
The person who was supposed to be taking over was supposed to be taking care of the household as if he was there. You know what I'm saying? So if that doesn't happen, who would control like his estate? Like if his parents get old and they're supposed to
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Way.
Okay. You mean like in his case where he had only daughters? Okay. One, they're in the world, right? And people in the world, money is, people in the world would do all kind of stuff for money to their own family, right? What happened with his parents? I heard about it. I don't know absolute details, but I think his parents did not approve of her because she was Mexican, right? Come on, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it had more to do with they were both really young, and they didn't sign he didn't sign a prenup, and they were pushing for that, and he was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Which is his right. You know what I mean? It's definitely his right. But I believe all that is the argument because she was Mexican. Like, you're too young, you don't know what you're doing. And she's not even one of us. I believe that was the argument. I could be wrong. Y'all could check it out. But the whole thing was that this is not you. This is not your people. And of course, he's saying it is, or he don't care, whatever it was, even though I.S.U.P.K is our people. And of course, his parents is older. They don't know the truth. And I think that was the beginning of the rift and the of them having an estranged relationship, right? Where it's his parents, but they ain't, you know what I mean? Later on, they publicly, I think, accused her of manipulating him for the money. And that's, really, but the crux of it is the money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's the breadwinner. It's like a child star, child actor. And how much stories you hear with child actors where the parents just rip through the money and the child didn't get in too much. So it seems to be that situation. Now, I don't know too much details about it. I haven't heard the parents, all this stuff I read. So that situation there, just understand, because they're in the world, they're going to fight over money. They're going to fight over money. And Kobe is not, he's not a regular basketball player. You get the point? He's like an empire by himself. You get the point? He's probably the closest thing to Jordan after Jordan, you know, in terms of what he could generate. He doesn't need the court to do that. You get the point? He could not play basketball and still generate shit. So we're talking about a lot of goddamn money. So that's the first thing to understand with that. Some shit like that, it go how it go. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is they in the world? So it's like dog eat dog. It's like a survival situation. You get the point? So whatever they do, that's, you know, on them. Ideally, what should happen? Two people getting married. What should happen ideally?
You know, you're talking about in the world.
Ideally is according to the Bible.
Well, you know, his heir, his oldest son.
Two people getting married. Ideally, what should happen?
Like the families would become, you know, families.
The families would talk. His father would speak to her father. And now we intertwined. Because they intertwined. You get the point? So now what we beefing over? What's the prenup about? You understand what I'm saying? That would be the ideal situation. The ideal situation is that. Also, where's this in the Apocrypha? Hold on. Bear with me one. Give me Ecclesiasticus 22 and 4. I think that's what I want. Hold on, let me look at it real quick. Yeah, give me that.
Okay. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 22, verse 4. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
All right. No, that's the one. Read it again.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband, but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
Right. What's that saying? What are they talking about? Read it one more time.
Okay. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
Right.
But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
At least the first part is a wise daughter. You know, she's still connected with the father. So if she like goes to her father, you know, and asks him for something,
it don't say nothing about connected. I don't say nothing about her asking.
Salaki, sir, I really don't have the wise part, but the dishonest part.
You don't have the wise part.
The dishonest part of my baby.
You don't know nothing about the wisdom, but them bitches know. And that's the problem with us. I could laugh about it because for us in this world, the only thing we know is the bad side. Sisters know what an ain't shit nigga is. They could describe that. What's a good man? A man who gives me everything I want. They don't know what a good brother is. A brother don't know what a good sister is. But a bitch that ain't shit, yeah. You can talk about that shit. You understand? That's our problem in this world. You understand? That's our issue in this world here. Go ahead up.
It's like the dishonest part, like she's going ahead with it without her father's consent, and it's like it's a burden to the father because like.
Okay, you're adding in stuff that ain't even there. It ain't even there. Just read it one more time.
Okay.
Read it one more time.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 22, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
Stop there. Give me that part. Clip this back here for me one. You could take it off. One more. Yeah, that's it. If we get one more again, I'll have you put it back on. So water to her.
Okay.
Come on. Don't forget to monitor online too, so if anybody else can. Go ahead.
A wise woman, she's gonna bring something to the marriage. She's gonna bring something.
She's gonna bring what?
Her family's wealth into their marriage.
It don't say her family's wealth. It don't say her family's wealth. It says an inheritance. An inheritance don't have to be the family's wealth. An inheritance is whatever the father decides to give her. The family could have 500,000 head of cattle. He could give her 30. That's her inheritance. That's not the family's wealth. You understand? Your father, you have more than one child. You wisdom would dictate everybody gets something. Because if you give one person everything, that motherfucker gonna be hated. You get the point?
Okay.
Now, whoever has the most gonna be hated anyway. But you could appease stuff. You give somebody something, you give somebody something, give somebody something. But the wisest one, the one who is most like you, the one who knows how you do things, the ones who knows your connections and knows your people and know how to talk to when I say your people, your business people or whoever you're dealing with. That one would get, of course, more than everybody else. You get the point?
Okay.
So now a wise daughter would bring an inheritance to her husband. If she is a wise daughter, what is a wise daughter?
An obedient daughter?
Done. She's wise. When she goes to get married, her father is going to give her stuff. You understand? Because that's his princess. He's going to give her whatever he has. Not everything, but he's going to, give her. She's going off to live somewhere else now. You get the point? It might be close, might be far. You understand what I'm saying? Just think, okay, the closest thing to understand is think, a man sending his child to college. Are you just going to pack the suitcase and drop them in the airport? No, you're going to open up that bank account. You're going to give them this credit card. This is for emergency, not to spend. This other one you could spend. And I set this up where you gain $500 every month. Or, we didn't have much, but we bought you this car so you could move around. Something. You had this clothes here. It's that. It's a package. Now, if this is a unwise child, right? I'm saying child because it might be better for you to understand versus wise daughter. It's the same thing. You have an unwise child or unwise daughter. When it's time for them to go, just go. I'm just about tired of you. Can't wait for you to just go. What do you want? Bubble gum. Here. You get the point? I'm not giving you nothing. Why would I give you anything? What are you going to do? Party it up, smoke it up, give it away. It doesn't matter. Now, if you're a parent, most parents would still give it anyway, knowing they're going to mess it up. But you're giving them anyway. You understand? So a wise daughter, she would get an inheritance. She would bring an inheritance to her husband. No, that's in the carnal sense. There's also another sense. What are we talking about?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead. Hey, what's up, Bob? YAHANNA.
Y.A.H.U.P.K, sir. Y.A.H.U.P.K.
God damn. I started to look around the room. I was like, where the fuck that voice coming from? That's my voice for dimension. Hello, Kazak, where you at? Go ahead, all right.
It's like I said,
cut this back on there for me.
Could it be her increasing his reputation?
Right, that's too hard. Break it down some more.
So just like in Proverbs 31, where it says like he is talked about in the I forgot the wording of it. Like because
in the gate.
of her, the gate, right?
He's known in the gates.
Right, Khan. Like because of her actions and her virtue and obedience and wisdom, she's known. She increases his reputation.
Because she's her wisdom, she obeyed her father, and in obedience, you gain much skill.
Right.
The trade-off for being obedient is you going to learn everything. Because you listen to somebody so much, this person wants to teach you everything. It's like a teacher in school or a football coach or a basketball coach, where there's this one kid who always does what the coach wants. He don't care. Whatever the coach said, 100 suicides, he doing it. And he doing it like because coach said it. The coach say, drive any pains, kick it out wide, even though he could go lay up and dunk on somebody. He's doing that. So guess what happens? After the game or before the game, he in the coach office and nobody else hear what they're talking about because the coach is now bringing him on a level now. Because this one here, he listens. And it happens all the time. Iverson and that coach who was down there in Georgetown. The one with the glasses. Tall brother. I always forget his name. Yeah. Iverson always is super close with him because of how the coach invested in him. Not money-wise, but money-wise too, but the time. But Iverson responded to him. You get the point? So many coaches and, you have that type of relationship. It happens with teachers too. And it happens with parents who have children. There's a child that is just like, this motherfucker listens. This one listens. So now, you're listening here, you're doing these chores. Come learn how to change this oil in the car. Come learn how to check the oil. Check that oil real good. You take the trash out real good. Let me show you how to start this car up.
Mm-hmm.
You get the point? It's that. Now, motherfucker who ain't listening, I can't get you to take the trash out. You think I'm going to let you even get behind the wheel? In fact, sit in the back. Shotgun my ass. Sit in the back. You get the point? With obedience, it opens up the treasure. It opens up that thing, that trove, that treasure trove to you. It works. That's life. That's life. You stay down until you come up. That's life. So now a wise daughter is one who obeys her father, listens to her father, and takes on what he's saying. And because she took it on for 20 years, let's just give an example. She's 20 at the time of marriage. This is 20 years of on-the-job training. This is a person who has 20 years career experience in serving a man. You get the point? Serving a man with no monetary gain. When that brother get her, he's getting an inheritance. He's getting piece of the business. Imagine you open a business and you have branches all over. And the manager is daughters. And now a brother come marry a daughter. He ain't just getting her body arc. He's getting 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears. You get the point? He's getting an inheritance. Like he's getting a huge resource added to him now. And it's because of the father's 20 years of employee training and employee, whatever, how the job sends you on courses and They get certificates. Just think of it like that. It's not, you ain't just getting a boxer. You're getting, you know, a resource, an engine. You're getting an inheritance. She's bringing that with her. Even if she come empty-handed, she's bringing that with her. Now take that and add that she might get a piece of land somewhere. This land here is yours. Always bring the grandchildren here, bring them up. You know, I've been putting aside money since you was a baby. Take this bag. Don't count it in front of me. Don't embarrass me. You know I'm poor. But I put aside money since you was a child. For 20 years, I put money aside for you. Please take this and do something with it. Just to help you start your life. You get the point? That's a wise daughter. That's a wise child, just on the whole. You understand?
Oh, God.
What the hell we was talking about?
Kobe Bryant.
Shit. Goddamn. So it's understanding that part. Ideally, that's what would happen. The parents would get together, and it's not, you ain't looking at this girl like she's a thief or she's unworthy because you met her parents. You know her. You know, the parents know each other. You're courted for a long period, which means the parents would have courted for a long period. You get the point? You all would have gone over to their cookouts. They come to your cookouts. You understand what I'm saying? There's enough to be shared where it's like, we know each other. We know each other now, and it's fine and it's ideal. But this, what's going on with his situation, even without intricate details, it's just being in this place, being oppressed, not knowing we brothers, Issachar and Judah, not knowing they're brothers. You get the point? And it's one taking the daughter of the other one. Give me even Tobit. You sent it for Trinidad?
He's on.
Most likely. Oh, he's on too? Hey, what's going on? Thumb. Multiple of you all in there? A few brothers in there?
Sasha on the way.
Okay, Musa and Christ. Silak, I didn't know you was on.
Yeah.
Give me say again. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just on that point, we're bringing out. It's like, you know, you're really seeing that why, you know, the dowries and them is be high as well too now, because this sister has some value now, and that value, like our father seen that value. It's like this man who gained this daughter gained value, and you know she would take that value and really, you know, make that man prosperous, just as, you know, because that bringing out, because that time I'm bringing out this woman would really stand this man in any situation, in anything, because now she understands what it means or what value means to everything that she put her hands on.
Yeah, you absolutely right, Doc. Like it ain't, you know, you ain't just getting, you know, again, we so diminished in this, under this oppressor. We so carnal about every goddamn thing, and we don't see, you know, what you're getting. You get the point? You don't see the full thing of what you're getting. You know what I mean? So as you saying, which is why the dowries is high. It's not, this ain't no joke. You know what I mean? A lot went into making who she is. Yeah, a lot went into it. And just think old school, where you have a broad who, she can cook, she can clean, she can sew. She could go talk to people for business. She could kill a chicken and do from the pen to the plate, the whole thing. Skin, gut, feather, everything. You get the point? She could go to the market for the father. She could conduct business on his behalf and not take on the position of a man, not take on the disposition of a man. She could handle situations. You understand? Like, that's, brother, you can't pay for that, Ark. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, I know women who don't even like touching raw meat.
Let me stop. Let me take a drink of water before I start talking shit up here. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. This is a rough, you know, time we're in. And because of that, we really don't understand what it takes. We don't really understand what it takes. And that's why stuff like that happens. And what you see in there happens all the time, you know. The only reason we know about them is because of the money. But shit like that happens all the time, Mark. All the time. You understand? All the time. Give me Tobit 4 and 12.
Concord.
12 and 13. 12 and 13.
Concord, sir. Book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of all whoredom, my son,
Go ahead.
and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
take
Go ahead.
and take not a strange woman to wife,
Mm-hmm.
which is not of thy father's tribe.
Mm-hmm.
For we are which is not.
For we are the children.
For we are the children of the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Noe. Did I say that right? Noe?
It would be Noah.
Noah. Come on.
Right.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Go ahead.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred,
Mm-hmm.
and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
Right. So like that's what I say. Ideally, that's what would happen, because to not take a wife for your people, you know, it's against the culture and the spirit of the Bible. And the Bible telling you is, you know, to avoid whoredoms, take a wife for your people. So what he did was absolutely right. It was absolutely right. It was culturally right. It was good for all the 12 tribes. It was good to see, because this was a young baller, especially in that time he was coming up. It was, I mean, the norm was a white woman. The norm was, you know, some heathen. You know, Charles Barkley, you get the point? The norm was some heathen, some, you know, something. So it was good to see a young brother doing that. And now this sister is Latino, I.S.U.P.K. That was good. And he's on the West Coast as well. You know what I mean? That was so good for the culture. It was good for us to do. And it's, you know, again, his parents, based on what I've seen, without understanding, was trying to put something evil towards him. And of course, he stood his ground. He stood on it. And now, you know, and it's damn near, it's good that he did it with this sister, because now he have 3 daughters. He ain't got no sons that we know of. And I know he would want somebody to do the same for his daughters. You get the point? Like, that's the way you got to look at too. You got to look at, okay, how you treating somebody's daughter. What's going to happen with yours? You get the point? Keep reading. 13.
Verse 13. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren.
Right? And he's saying, love the brethren, and despise not in your heart your brethren. And that's what happened with the parents. You get the point? The parent, I believe, if I'm incorrect, somebody please let me know. You could get the food too if you all want. You could eat in class as normal, all right? Right? And you could break down this drink here if you need to, or water, whichever one you all want. But as far as I read, you know, the whole issue with her, with the money and the too young, is because she was I.S.U.P.K. That was the issue. The issue was because she was I.S.U.P.K. And of course, he wanted to marry. He didn't want to just have her, I believe. But the issue was he's too young. There was no issue when it was Brandy, right? Y'all remember that? Remember that he was with Brandy for a short time. I think a few other women jump at him too, because he was this young, he was a young sensation. You know, grown women was trying to throw themselves at him. But there was no issue with Brandy. But you bring this I.S.U.P.K. girl, and she ain't famous. Who the hell is she? But he knew I could use that in the house. You understand? And he had some wisdom, because, of course, his parents still together. So he done seen what his father needed. And, you know, he went and found that in his own people, if not consciously, subconsciously in his spirit, he did the right thing. You get the point? He definitely did the right thing. All right, go ahead. Keep reading. Read it again from the top.
Okay. Verse 13. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren.
Go ahead.
The sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction, and much trouble.
Go ahead.
And in lewdness is decay, and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. Brother,
and the parents is estranged now, supposedly don't have, it's in the Bible. Despising the brother, despising the brothers, despising the family. They didn't want him to marry the girl, and I damn near 100% believe it's because she was not a Negro. She wasn't black. If he had married a Hamite, they wouldn't have had a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Or maybe they would have, I don't know. But the root of it was that. And it's in pride, and it comes from pride, right? Because in their case, it's pride and ignorance, or both. And of course, within that, it's lewdness and much decay. Because now you don't want to get with your brother and do something, so you're going to suffer by yourself. Think Abraham and Lot. Remember what happened with Abraham and Lot? They were so wealthy and powerful, their servants started fighting. Lot, the scripture said Lot moved away from Abraham and went into a land of wicked men and lost everything, when he could have just stayed with his brother. You get the point? He could have stayed with his brother and gained so much because of the brotherhood. So that's the greater lesson to learn. Now, in terms of the whole the inheritance and who's right and wrong, who not right and wrong, who would get it and who is what, that's the scripture we read first. A wise daughter. He only has daughters. He don't have no sons. They little girls, when he died, the wife would have a certain amount of control. She's the adult. And then when they get to be adults, I'm sure there's something provided for them. You understand what I'm saying? In a situation like that, regardless of boys or girls, that's what, you would consider when it comes to that stage. You get the point? With somebody like him who has a whole ton of money, they usually do financial planning for if something happened to them. You know what I mean? They do a whole lot. They do more flying than anybody, more driving than anybody. They usually do some sort of financial planning. And in a situation like that, again, ideally, because the parents are to, everybody, the family is there. Him passing, it doesn't mean now we all fracture because of money. You understand? It doesn't mean that is more so now this is a safety net, a cushion, where you don't have to worry anymore about how it would be in the world with family fighting over money. Because the family's done together. The family's done together and respect each other over time. Who knows? He might have, her parents doing something for him, managing something or starting, you get the point? And everybody rolling together with something. Just think like the UPK. Think like how it is in the school where brothers and sisters get together on so much different little business ideas and ventures and doing this and doing that. And it's, it's smooth. You get the point? It's so way smoother than in the world. You're going to get hiccups with anything. You're going to get bumps in the road with anything. But it ain't that thing in the world where you fighting and, over cash and breaking up over cash. You get the point? It's not that. So that's the real lesson to learn. Like, they just in the world and shit, whatever. Yeah, I mean, whatever. They could, they're doing, I'm sure they're doing pretty well. They ain't in the shelter. They ain't getting evicted. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Tell me I'm Kobe Bryant's father. Listen, man, I'll have a podcast, man, raising Kobe. And I'll be making money. Yeah, I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's it. In a situation like that, they're just in the world. They're just in the world. That's all. All right. Anything else? And we're good to go.
Okay, sir. Nothing online.
No sweat. If anybody have any questions, you remember, let's type them in. Scroll the whole thing too. If we miss your questions early on, definitely please retype them in, and we go from there. All right. So we're gonna go a little bit into the Negro Leagues. All right. I want to get that out of the way from last week. We didn't get to it. All right. Now I'm gonna need hold on. I might need you to read Shapat. You might have to come up here because it's different pages. All right. So this is from a book called $40 Million Slaves, written by William C. Roden. You all know now with the Negro Leagues, you could pull up a picture of, you know, the Negro Leagues logo or you know, something with the Negro League, a little black and white, good picture. And he wrote a book, $40 Million Slaves, talking about black professional athletes that, you know, we are still slaves in the empire, even though we signed these big contracts, these huge contracts. And, you know, the whole sports industry is really a plantation. And I mean, it's a real autopsy on the whole system from the neighborhoods, the inner cities, the high schools, to college, to the NBA. He went into the history and the whole business aspect and how they look at us. You know what I mean? And there's a term in here I'll never forget. He talks about the conveyor belt system, where that's how the oppressor designs your NBA, NFL, MLB. You know, the sports we're into now, the tennis, now more brothers and sisters getting into hockey, the gymnastics. There's a conveyor belt system where you get put on this belt and it just runs all the way through to the NBA, almost like the school to prison pipeline. But now this one runs straight into professional, being a professional athlete, and staying on the belt, staying on this conveyor belt that moves automatic. Like when you go to the store, how you put your goods on the little belt and the cashier press a button and it all goes forward itself automatically. Staying on the belt, it's dependent on your ability to assimilate into the system, political system, religious system, social system, economic system, sexual system. And the more you could stay in the system, the further you reach. And once you start bucking, they don't want you in the system. And players like Iverson, Marshawn Lynch, what's the other one? Larry Johnson. You all mightn't be old enough to remember Larry Johnson. He used to call him the grandmama because he used to wear the wig and he used to dunk in the dress. Right? Certain players over the years have rocked the boat. Right? Certain players have rocked the boat. And Esau, even though they were exemplary players, Esau sought to get rid of them because they rocked the boat. All right? So we talk about them in here. So we're going to go into it a little bit, jump around a little bit in the book, and hear what he says about the Negro Leagues, all right? Give me page 2 from the top here, despite all the way to Y. Hold on, let me see something again. No, don't step down, because you just stay close. Just stay right here. Hold on. Right, all the way to where it says danger. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Despite their 50-year rise to prominence on the fields of integrated sports, African-American athletes, male and female, still find themselves on the periphery of true power in the industry their talent built.
Right. So he's saying at the time he wrote the book, he's saying there's been a consistent 50-year rise to where you have athletes today. This book came out, I think, 2008 or something like that, 2008, 9, somewhere around there. Right. So just think about that period. It's even more powerful now. But just think about that period. Even before, the people don't understand the whole Jordan move. He was damn near the first to do what you have today with the athletes being with the endorsements and becoming bigger than the game. he damn near was the first one in any sport. Like that wasn't really something you saw in any sport, where he was the face of it and pushed all over, and the marketing was through him. He was damn near the first one in any sport, and everything after that with endorsements comes from him. So what you see today at one time was not normal. It wasn't normal at all. That, shoe deals and, sponsor, that shit was not, by and large a normal situation. OJ, to a point too, was like that with the Hertz commercials and, the different endorsements, but it wasn't on the scale of Jordan. The scale of Jordan was that thing. So he's saying, even though black athletes, male and female, rose to a certain level, we were still on the outside of the business that we built. You get the point? They were on the periphery, meaning on the edge. We were nowhere near power and money in that type of industry. So think about the money they spent on Jordan, marketing. You could look it up at the time, how much money they put into him and put into all these other athletes. And we look at it like that's huge money. Like that's big money. They talk about Jaylen Brown, the brother from the Celtics, the old genius brother. They say he signed the biggest contract in NBA history. I think it's like $50 million a year or something like that. You could look that up too. Somebody look it up and tell me. One of you brothers online, Jaylen Brown, right? I think they say he just signed the biggest contract in NBA history. Even that's getting downplayed. Back to what I was talking about before. They don't highlight the shit that we do good. They don't, like this brother here is a goddamn genius. He's an absolute genius. Secured the biggest contract. He had a tweet saying his high school teacher told him that she would see him in the police lineup in a few years. And this brother went on to be a full-out genius, scholarships to MIT, professor, NASA, I think, pull him in as an engineer studying different sorts of astrophysics. And he bouncing a ball. And the fact that we don't know what his contract is, the money, like outright, we don't, you can't call it the top of your head. It's proof what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
5 years.
I got something right here, sir.
5 years, 200, how much?
$286 million.
286 million. Goddamn. Kazak, what you got?
I got Jaylen, this from ESPN. Jaylen Brown, Celtics agreed to record 5-year, $303.7 million Supermax extension.
Right? 303. The extension, I believe, is from the 286 to the 3. So that's about 50 million a year. You get the point? 50 million a year. That's huge money. And this brother, basketball ain't his life. You understand? And to us, it's like, damn, he getting 50 million. You know how much brothers going and bounce a ball now? And he getting that over 5 years. We still on the outside. What kind of money they really making to cut him that check arc?
Right.
You get the point?
Right.
He's still on the outside. Listen, forget about outside of America. That money is like big here, right? That thing you all like to call soccer, them niggas making that in one season, half a year. I mean, the niggas making 500,000 pounds a week, 250,000 pounds a week. And still, that's not the pinnacle of it. The pinnacle is who's signing those checks.
Right.
So that's what the brother went into with the book, right? Keep going.
Go. In the public mind, the black athlete is still largely feared and despised.
Mm-hmm.
In keeping with the history of black Americans, whose success is often seen as imminent danger,
Right. Read the last part again.
In the public mind, the black athlete is still largely feared and despised.
Mm-hmm.
In keeping with the history of black Americans, whose success is often seen as an imminent danger.
Right. Why is that? Why is it that the black athlete is feared and despised? And the success of the black athlete or black people in general is seen by America as imminent danger. Why is it seen? It's seen by, the oppressor as, this is something bad. This is something horrible. We can't have this going on. Why is it like that? Who knows? Go ahead.
Because they have so much influence if they were to speak the truth and what the things that they know and speak for their people and motivate us to do than trying to spend away our lives and not and stick together and stuff like that. Then we would do it, and that'll be the fall of America. That would exactly. They correlate strong black men, especially strong black men and strong black women, and the unity that comes with it. They correlate that with their empire falling, because their empire is built on top of us. You understand? So now if we start actually standing up and standing together, it's seen as a threat. And it says the history of Black Americans, which is why I say this Juneteenth, damn near, it can turn into a second Black History Month. You get the point? Because Juneteenth, even before I'm coming to you, even before the official federal holiday, Juneteenth was down there celebrated for the whole month of June. Right? It would be week-long stuff, and then it started expanding 2 weeks, and you could find damn near an event every weekend for this whole month of June. And it comes from the revolutions. That's what I would call them. They'll call them slave revolts. Like a revolt is something that's seen as dishonorable, like a mutiny on board a ship, or you get the point, mutiny or rebellion. Slave revolt. Ain't nothing honorable about slavery. This was a revolution. You get the point? Like the Haitian Revolution. It wasn't the Haitian Revolt. You get the point? It was the revolution, which is, it really kind of revolt. It comes from that word. But you hear revolt, you start thinking rebelling, and rebelling against something that's set, right? So they're looking at that, and it's like, if these is the same people who rebelled, these is the same people who fought us, if we give them enough money and they stick together, it's going to be a problem. You understand? It's the same thing with ex-military or professionals, either doctors and your lawyers and stuff like that. It's the same mindset. But because of the schooling, they think that's a more safe aspect. But these athletes got money, they got the resources, they can organize, they can train other people, and they're skilled physically. That's a problem. It's like a military person. Right. Go ahead, what you were saying? It's like, you was heavy how you said it, this whole empire is built on top of us. I had a post that I shared on Facebook where you had a bunch of devils playing Monopoly. Okay. On a Monopoly board, and the board had like banks on it, Bilderberg, Rothschild, and they were sitting around a Monopoly table, but under the table, holding the table, was black slaves all bent down. And the it's a picture concert, and the caption said the game would be over if they just stood up. That's it. That's all it, and stood up and stand together. It's the standing together is a huge part of it. Not just standing up, but standing together. You get the point? So that's the reason why it's a fear. It's like what is y'all doing? And that's the system is set up to always infiltrate your money. Your manager, your agent, your financial advisors, they all together. Kanye West brought that out. The small hats, they have even your mental health professionals all tied in with them, because the money you spend in, they create a whole industry for you to spend that $50 million that Jalen Brown gets in. 60% of that money going into the industry. His real estate agent is a white man. Well, typically, that's what happens. Your real estate agent is some devil, some small hat. Your insurance broker is a small hat. Your banker is a small hat. Your doctors, your lawyers. You get the point? And they all together, they're all in the sports medicine, sports therapy, sports psychology. They're all in there to feed off of you. We don't have our own network of black professionals to go through. You think Yao Ming spent all that money with them devils? Nah, there's Chinese professionals for him to spend that money with. You get the point? Let me get the next page real quick. If you want, you could pull a chair up here. Oh, I don't know if you should sit, go back. I'm just trying to keep you from going back and forth. Bear with me.
No sweat, no sweat. Let me skip ahead. The whole book is excellent to read if anybody wants it. There's so much gems in here. Hold on. Go ahead.
Is that the book where the dude said he went to the Negro League baseball game and he had to ask the people, what are they doing? Because he seen them steal a base.
Yeah.
That's the book.
Yep. And they talk about the industry with the Negro Leagues. How in the Negro Leagues, there was a documentary I had to send you, Bakwash. I might be able to find it. Did you know, brother, the Negro Leagues, right? These brothers who played in the Negro Leagues used to play 2 and 3 games a day, every day, just to be able to make, because it was damn near, the Negro Leagues was such brothers who, the team that they had traveling teams. They had teams that played in the league, but then they had teams that would travel that was good. And they would travel around to go play other teams. And they was playing, they was really gaming out. It was that this was like going on tour, like a concert. And they would go to Cuba and play out. They would go to Cuba, I think DR, but definitely Cuba and play. So the whole Cuban Major League Baseball link ain't new. That shit was going on back in the Negro Leagues. Even in the documentary, the brother say he couldn't believe he seen another black person talking Spanish. Like he couldn't understand the shit because he just thought it was just them. And they had the camaraderie there because of the sport. And they was making money, not major league money, but they was able to feed themselves, feed their families. They had to navigate through when they go to play white teams. They might have some light-skinned brother in there, and they would send him in to do the reservation and all that type of shit and get the food. And if the people in there found out he was black or he was on behalf of black people, they would cancel the whole reservation. And it happened a few times where, the shit get canceled and they went hungry. They had to sleep in the bus because the person doing the hotel reservation realized this person here ain't white. You get the point? They on behalf of this damn team. So them brothers was rolling so hard, brother. And they talk about the atmosphere. I think I might probably get to it here, where they say the atmosphere in the Negro League stadiums was so electric. Stadiums was packed. It was industries. You had people selling pies, food, drinks, trinkets. And while the game going on, there's music playing and people clapping. And I mean, it was so electric in comparison to the major league thing, which was a more like church. It's not, was us. Go ahead.
Concert. It kind of sounds like a basketball game today versus the And One mixtape tour.
Oh, the Rockers versus, bounce. You know what I mean? It's like we bring flavor and excitement to everything we do. All right. Hold on. Slacky, go ahead.
I was about to say, like you were saying, the person was selling pies and this, that, and the third, but that was in the stands. Whereas in the major leagues, you had to walk down to the concession stand to buy food. Where we selling it right, popcorn, get your popcorn.
Yeah, people walking through. You'll have somebody cracking jokes. You big head, something. Yeah, go tell your mama something. And the whole crowd laughing, right. And it's a more fun atmosphere. It's a more electric atmosphere. There's some accounts in here. I'm trying to see if I could find it too, where scouts would come to the Negro Leagues to try to lure brothers away, and they would just like coming. They say this, they would just like coming. It wasn't about work no more. It was just better being here, right? Give me here read from early in the formation down to represented. I believe that's what I have. All right.
Early in the formation of the United States, blacks, early in the formation of the United States, blacks became the designated drivers of the Scapegoat Express. We were the...
Hold on. Let me see. I think you're probably reading it a little bit wrong. Okay, there's a comma after United States. All right. So give it a little pause right after United States.
Okay.
Uh-huh. You too, Wild? Come on with me out.
Early in the formation of the United States, blacks became the designated drivers of the Scapegoat Express.
Right? Now, of course, he's a black writer. And the way he writes, sometimes you had to read it twice to understand what he's saying. Anybody understand what he's saying here? Read it one more time.
Come constant. Early in the formation of the United States, blacks became the designated drivers of the Scapegoat Express.
So, like,
What's he
if I
saying?
may,
Go ahead, Ak.
Kawakar, sir, is saying like black people were at the forefront of being blamed for anything. Like if anything happened, they were at the forefront of being blamed.
That's it. Like the Scapegoat Express. Like a scapegoat. A scapegoat is like you blaming somebody for whatever. He's the scapegoat. We're gonna we just blame everything on him. It's his fault. But this is the driver of the Scapegoat Express. He right at the front. So in early in the formation of America, black people was blamed for everything. Black people, cotton and selling is because these niggas, they're picking bad cotton. The sugar cane ain't sweet. Them niggas, they ain't know. Too much, the water in the field too much, diluting the cane. Go ahead.
So, Lockie, the 13 states didn't get together to fight against the British until John Adams gave an address. They said, and if we don't get together, these niggas and these Redskins, they gonna fight with them.
Listen, I watch it's like a docu-series on John Adams. It's supposed to be historically accurate. It's a few years ago on the History Channel. And that devil I think he lost his daughter, and damn near lost his life trying to bring the Union together. They would not come together for nothing. And he went to France to get money. He went to the Dutch to cut a deal, saying that they'll benefit from the new American government. And he nearly died trying to make the Union. And finally, he had to introduce, if we don't get together, these niggas here and these natives, they're going to get together and beat us. And that damn near was the catalyst to put everything together. That was the whole catalyst putting everything together. So damn near, when you hear Make America Great Again, it's a cat call, it's a dog whistle to this. America is not great because of these niggas running around. To make America great again, we have to introduce, remember, law and order. When the cops arrest you, bang the head. Remember that? It's dog whistle talk to go back to what it is. But that's an old trope. It's hundreds of years old of blaming black people for everything. In 2009, Bernie Madoff, Lehman Brothers, crashed the U.S. economy. Crashed it, didn't recover for about 4 or 5 years. Crashed it with Ponzi schemes. What did they say was the cause of the economy crashing?
Black people buying out of their price range.
Black people taking all these housing loans that they couldn't afford and defaulting on it. They say it was black people's fault for overspending because, of course, that's the height of the bling bling culture with the hip hop and stuff. And we just spending out of our range. Come to find out, we was given them predatory loans that was guaranteed to fail in a certain amount of time. And they was just extorting us with the high interest rates. Right. It's not us, we just doing it. They did it to us. But of course, we the ones to blame. You get the point? Go ahead, what was going to say?
It's like I'm about to say, it just brings in mind the scripture, because they couldn't get together on nothing else except for blaming us, where it says they're confederate against us with one consent. With one consent, brother. They are confederate against thee and Exodus. Let us deal wisely with them. You understand? This is that part. This is that thing. And okay, part of it is really all of it is unfounded because at no time have we ever been cruel to them like they've been to us. Right. At no time, none. Even with the Maccabees was the self-defense. And once Maccabees subdued them all, what happened after? Maccabees' descendants went and made peace with the Grecians. And that's how you got the Sadducees and Pharisees, the Hasmonean Empire. And we went right back into captivity. At no time have we ever done that to them. But in their mind, they know they've been so evil to us. So if we ever get on top, they are expecting it because they know you reap what you sow.
They know it. You understand? They know it. It's in this. It's in them. They know it that you can't let them get on top because they're going to do to us what we do to them. You have to listen. They stop us on the street from doing a boot kiss. How many times you see some captain save a devil running? No, don't do that. Don't do that. And it's a black person. It's an Israelite pulling them up. You're wrong for that. Y'all don't do that. We are people. You're going to have to force to oppress other people. Not everybody can do that job. That's why the kingdom of heaven got to be, great. Because while the majority of us enjoying it, some of us are going to have the job of passing legislations to oppress. Not everybody could do it. They ain't got the heart for that thing. You understand? As a people, we are not them. We are not them. They teach Eminem to rap. They teach Justin Bieber to sing. Them boys singing country music. That ain't country. Get that out of here. You get the point? After they stole country music from us. Right. We are not them, Mark. The brother in Trinidad, Officer Barriath. So he was telling me Monday night after the feast day, y'all give Trinidad a hand. They came together strong on that feast day. That fish looked mighty strong. Good job down there, brother. Real good job. Officer Barriath lives in the north of the island. So he came down. He could have stayed in the south until the morning, but he decided to go back up anyway. And he said on his way back up, he had to catch these, different taxis, which is like how Uber is without the app. Somebody just have a private car and they'll run the route to where you go and you just pay them. He said when he went on the first leg of the journey, the East Indian driver tried to charge him 3 times the rate because it was late in the morning. It was late in the night. So he said, nah, I ain't paying that. And then a brother came around and charged the regular rate. He went to the brother. Then he went up north where he's at from the main spot to go where he actually lives. Another East Indian driver want to charge him 4 times the rate for a shorter ride, like from here to somewhere downtown DC. Imagine, that's what in an Uber late night. Late night, you might pay $15, $20. Imagine they tell you $100. And it's not New Year's or not something major going on, but just because it's late. And he just tell him that. He said, nah. So there's another brother there waiting for a taxi as well. Barriath and the brother decide they ain't going with the East Indian. About 10, 15 minutes later, a brother came up with a car and he charged them the regular rate and he go. And that East Indian did that because they was black. He would not do that to his own people. You get the point? And that's the type of people these heathens are. They will skin us alive. They will take advantage of us. But the minute we start to rise up in power, they're worried because they know what they was doing. They know what they was doing to us, and they think we'll have it in our mind to do it back to them. The sad reality is the majority of our people don't have it in our mind to do it back to them. The majority of our people want what?
They want to be equal with them.
We want peace. Can't we all just get along?
Right.
I'm tired of the fuss. I'm tired of the fussing and fighting. Let's just get along. Let's just get along. Remember Botham Jean? When the devil killed his brother? It's okay. It's okay. Let's just get along. The majority of our people are like that. They really have nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. Nothing to worry about. Let's get back to it. Go ahead. Read it from the top again.
Early in the formation of the United States, blacks became the designated drivers of the Scapegoat Express.
Mm-hmm.
We were the indecent others. The nation needed a permanent workforce.
Hold on, let me see the word again. Salaki. Right. We were the indecent others, meaning we were the ones who were seen as dishonorable, not decent, not having good moral values, like the propaganda tropes. That's who we were. And the sad part is we buy into that today. Like the brother at camp over the weekend. You're going to see the tape on the DC channel, subscribe to the DC channel. The brother said a lot of our black people are criminals. He's a brother.
Right.
He said a lot of us are lazy. Then a lot of the other nations, they just work harder than us. They just come over here and they work harder than us. He bought into the indecent others. when that's propaganda. That's not true. If we were indecent, why you enslave us? If we lazy, why did you enslave us? A slave is supposed to work hard. Why would you force somebody to work for you for free if they can't work? It just doesn't make sense. Get the point? It's like having a dog who won't bark, don't want to do nothing. Why would you even get that? It's propaganda. Keep going.
Okay. The nation needed a permanent workforce and a permanent pariah.
See, the nation needed a permanent workforce. That's the whole thing with slavery. The nation needed that, and that's what they got. Go ahead.
African Americans, by virtue of some 17th century decree, got the job. No amount of education, no amount of wealth could remove the stigma of race, the paradox and dilemma of The paradox and the dilemma of virulent racism is that our exclusion became the basis of our unity. The next 200 years,
right? Virulent means marked by a rapid, severe, and destructive course, right? Able to overcome bodily defenses, able to overcome bodily defensive mechanisms, markedly pathogenic, right? Like viral, virulent. So they have virulent is used to describe a bacteria, which is why you would hear I get it from generals that the oppressor is a virus, he's a cancer, because what he's done to us. That's why I said the slavery what we experienced, like they say, was so long ago. That's something that sits in us, and they don't get it. It literally sits in us and is passed down, right? And that's what they say. Really parts again with virulent. Another definition: extremely poisonous or venomous, right? Objectionably harsh or strong, full of malice, right? Go ahead.
Okay. African Americans do by virtue of some 17th century decree got the job. No amount of education, no amount of wealth could remove the stigma of race.
Right, stop right there. He said no amount of education or wealth, meaning what? What do they say for every police brutality or every professional high-profile case of racism? What do they say? Say these cops need to just have more training. We're going to spend some money and give them more training. The higher up you move in society, the white people you meet, they're wealthy. They don't have time to think about race. He's saying it here. There's no amount of training, no amount of education or money that you could give to stop the issue of race. It just doesn't happen. That's why you have $40 million slaves. You have LeBron James, who probably for the past, 20 years been the most dominant basketballer on the earth. You have some old reporter making, 5% of his salary maybe, said shut up and dribble. And he just speaking. When Tim Tebow did the whole, is Tebow? The one who did John 3:16 and kneeling down all the time like he's some preacher. Nobody tell him shut up and dribble. There's another one from New England Patriots.
Tom Brady.
Say again?
Tom Brady, sir.
Not Brady. Brady's the quarterback, right? The one I'm talking about, I don't know if he was a receiver. He left the NFL and joined the military to go fight in a war. I forget which war it was.
That was in the Cardinals. It was the Cardinals.
It was Cardinals. Okay, so like I thought it was Patriots. You know who I'm talking about. I forget which war it was. I don't think it was 9/11. After 9/11. It was after 9/11. He said, the NFL is, he got political. Nobody told him shut up and play. Run the route. Omaha, 459. Nobody told him do that. But with us, you can't say nothing because we did the indecent others. Right? Go ahead. Pat Tillman. I think that's the name. He left. He left and said he gonna sign up. He said he ain't playing no more on this field. He rather go die in war. Go ahead.
Salakia. He did that went and joined, the special forces, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he died from basically it was friendly fire. Fratricide.
Yeah, dummy.
Man killed him.
Listen, he could is either that or get ALS or not. That's a tough decision. That's a tough decision for a devil. You know what I mean? But you get your point. Like, so much of them do things that's considered political. They don't say that to us, but to them, but to us, you have to maintain this. You got to be a slave. No matter how much education they have, how much training you give them, how much money you give them, they hate us with a perfect hatred. Go ahead.
Oh, God. The paradox and dilemma of virulent racism is that our own exclusion became the basis of our unity.
Right? And that's what he's saying. And that's why, I mean, the Lord is so great in how he strategized. Where no matter what you do to us, it just benefits us more. That's all. It just benefits us more. We just get better at it. We just become more powerful at it. And it brings us together more.
Right.
You get the point? It just does it. You thought that putting children in cages on the border would have made Issachar not come? Brothers are accepting Issachar more and Zebulun more because of it. You get the point? You thought separating the tribes was going to do something. We more together now than ever before. You get the point? Like, whatever you do to us, the opposite happens. Keep going.
Okay. The next 200 years of our existence were defined by reacting to racism.
Mm-hmm.
So our cheering assumed a deeper meaning.
Right? So he's saying the next 200 years, meaning 17th century is 1600s. Right? This is round about the bulk of the slave trade started. There was transports of slaves before, but not it being that trade, meaning consistent business going back and forth. Started around about the 1600s. So you see the next 200 years. So from 16, 17, 1800s, 19th century, Black history was really reacting to racism. So how could you have a people who've gone through that for hundreds of years and now today ask us to forget it? This shit is in our genes now. This shit is in our DNA now. You get the point? It's in us. We've been bred to react to it, and we'll carry it every day. Don't talk about not playing the race card. Nigga, I am the race card. It's in me. I can't separate from it. And then he goes on to say, so most of the cheering in these sports was because of race. And it's hard, especially modern day, for especially Tribe of Judah to really see it. Older generation would remember it from the college football games with gambling, the gambling school and the other schools where it was Black players running over these white boys. The brothers in the Caribbean. So I would be able to remember. So I remember how cricket was, where cricket was a race sport in the Caribbean, in the West Indies. It was what the Caribbean islands was using to beat them white boys' ass from England. Right? Beat their ass, brother. And I'm talking about the ball is like a baseball. It's a little smaller, but it's still that hard. It's like wood. It's a solid piece of wood wrapped in leather. Right? They call it a cork ball. Like a cork you put in a wine. Like a cork ball. And brother, they would bowl. And in cricket, it's really, baseball, I think, comes as an adaptation from the cricket or rounders. They had an old game in England called rounders, and that's where I think your baseball comes from. It's called rounders. Cricket, of course, is the parent of all of that. And in cricket, they don't pitch the ball straight through the air. You could bounce the ball, right? There's a pitch straight through the air called a beamer, where you could just send it straight down, but your arm has to be straight. You can't throw. You bowl like how you would bowl on the arm, you're bowling overarm. And brother, them brothers in the islands, Benjamin Dunn became skilled with that shit. So much so they had a ball called a bouncer, where you could bounce the ball hard into the pitch and make that shit spin up anywhere. And that joker was breaking ribs, busting chins. They had videos of it. And the English people made a rule: you could only bowl one bouncer per over. An over is each pitcher or bowler would have 6 attempts, 6 balls, six attempts to bowl the ball. Yeah, get it, boy. Six attempts to bowl the ball, and then another pitcher has to come in, right? In baseball, what is how much with that's for the batter, but for the pitcher, does he have a certain amount of time, or he's just up? And then you could change him at any time. Okay, in cricket, it's a little bit more rigid. Each bowler has six balls per over. Over is like 6 balls the batter had to face. Then the coach could send him back in or send somebody else, switch it up, because you have different types of bowlers. And brother, them West Indians was destroying them white boys out, because they would bowl that bouncer, and it would bounce up in the chin, bounce up, hit them in the ribs. They had to take time off. That's where if you watch modern cricket, they got pads, elbow pad, forearm pad, shoulder pad. The helmet have a whole piece coming in front here to protect the chin. They got pads for the rib, the big shin pad that come up to your damn over your knee, because them Benjamites was tearing their ass up. And the old school, I hated cricket because it was an all-day game. You playing that shit all day. I hated it. There's no cartoons on the TV growing up because cricket, and it's so slow. I hated it. But as I grew older, I understood why the older generation would sit there and just watch that all day, because it was beating up these white people. Beating them up. And that was the basis behind it, because it was race. Now, the white boys is running through West Indies, running through it, and they make the game so global. I think the Cricket World Cup is being played in America right now. USA has a cricket team. Guess who's on the team? Benjamites and Elam. The two teams who was playing the sport and dominating forever. Very few white boys. It's Benjamin and Elam. And you want a green card right now? Go get a cricket bat. Play for America cricket team. So he's going into how race was such a part of the sports, because this was warfare. And this is the only way we could fully physically fight back without the bloodshed. You get the point? Go ahead.
We were cheering for our very survival.
That's it. No, keep going. I think you're going to have to represent it.
Black athletes became our psychological arm.
See, you say mentally, we look at black athletes like this is our army. The oppressor looks at us like that too. That's why it's important to him to keep our athletes as boys, like infantile, juvenile. You get the point? It's important to him to do that and never really make you into a man. Even if I'm coming to you, even if you look at how they portray white athletes versus black athletes. Tom Brady's like a man. That Travis Kelce, he's like a boy. And they try to make excuse for his boyish antics. But if you look at white NFL players, the prime ones, the ones who is top, they always try to portray them like they're father. But the black athletes is just a little bunch of little boys running around, just no real respect. But that Travis Kelce, he act like a little boy, and they make excuses for him. He's just having fun. They win the Super Bowl. Like this nigga up there drinking, woo, drink up there, smash it on his head. What the hell is that shit? Go ahead.
Shalaki, now I'm about to say when they made like the gladiator sports and everything, they made it for the people because the people wanted the revolt or whatever. But if you got the people rooting for this one player and this other player going against them, you know what I mean? Like that's representing whole armies right there. So they don't have to fight as far as war armies. It's like the teams are doing it. Fully.
To a point, yes. To a point, yes and no. The gladiator sports, of course, was to keep the people down. It was a distraction because the economy was falling.
Sure.
That's another thing. Sports is what they call it is bread and wine. What they call it is there's a term for it.
Bread and circus, sir.
Bread and circus to water. Bread and circus. Get them bread and get them a circus. They don't care what's going on in Parliament. They don't care what's going on, anywhere. And that's that. You get the point? They just there is entertainment to take the masses because if you don't do that, the people will start paying attention. And we could have some problems. You know what I mean? We could have some rioting going on, and stuff like that. You get the point. Let's get some more. Slaki, what's going on, Bukwaj?
No.
Comment?
There was one earlier, but
what was he comment?
False prophets.
So what? Appreciate that. I appreciate that. At least you call him a prophet. Yeah, I mean, right. The type of prophet is, it's irrelevant, to me. I don't care your opinion. But Tawada, I appreciate your comment, brother. Or devil. Go ahead.
Okay. Black athletes became our psychological armor, markers of our progress, tangible proof of our worth, evidence of our collective soul.
Evidence of our collective soul. Now you see why we're so tied to sports. Even in DC, brother, I remember being in Trinidad and hearing about the Cowboys and the Redskins, because they would show NFL games on Monday night with Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. Remember that whole thing? The Monday Night Football. They would show that in Trinidad, brother. And something in me, I just like Redskins because of the cowboy Indian shit. I didn't know nothing about football. Nothing. Even when they show the college games, the team I would like is Florida State Seminoles. Something just I always would identify with the Seminoles and the Cowboys Redskins thing, because of course you're hearing the history. I'm like, yeah, that's my team. And even today in DC, the Redskins fan base is a racial fan base. They don't want to admit it, but it's a racial fan base. It's an absolute racial fan base. Not racist, but racial, because to most black people, this is fighting and the biggest rivalry is what? Cowboys Redskins.
Right.
This has nothing to do with football.
Not to mention, Salaki, if you looked at the helmet, that was a black man on the helmet, where no other team had a black man as the mascot on the helmet.
Well, not in the football, but they had with the Indians in the Atlanta, not the Braves, the one with the not Atlanta. One of them teams had the
Cleveland,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's a godite face with the feather up.
Right, Cleveland Indians.
It could be that, and of course the Florida State Seminoles. You get the point? But for us, the sports means something different because we come from a different background. Keep going.
Okay. Our athletes threw punches we could not throw. Run races we could not run.
Come on, man. Imagine our athletes threw punches we could not throw. Brother, even being in truth, I tried to resign from the heavy fanatic thing with sports, but sometimes it get me out. Until this day, that Deontay Wilder, he owed me a fight. He owes me a fight because he let that Tyson Fury off.
Right.
He talked all that shit. Till this day, you beat the older brother, Silva, I think is his name. Older Simeonite or Manassite brother. The Levite from Canada, you beat him out the ring. He kneeling down, laying back like he get crucified. You punish that brother. Will mean something. But you go all the way to England and let that devil live. You don't understand. You athletes don't understand what you represent for black people, which is why I damn near echo what Kaban Johnny Hannah say when you say hate sports. Because the shit now is not, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not doing. You let that devil live. You let him live. I don't care what nobody say. You let that devil live. And right now, and you should get your ass beat every single time until you start beating them heathens like you beat brothers. You beat brothers like you hate them with their family and the kids in the crowd, and you let this gypsy live. It's impossible. Because of this. Because we're so disempowered, the sports take on a whole different thing for us. Go ahead.
Okay. Any competition or public showing involving an African American was seen as a test for us all. The job of the athlete was to represent the race.
Come on, man. Say that again.
The job of the athlete was to represent the race.
Say it one more time.
Okay. The job of the athlete was to represent the, with a capital T, race with a capital R.
Listen, man. You athletes, you have one job. Go out there and do it for us. You have but one job. That's it. Now take that to Dwayne Wade and that little girl he raising. Your job is to represent the race, man. Your job. You think Yao Ming come to America to just play basketball? He's representing China. Everything he did was for that. You get the point? Issachar still has that part in their culture. When the Issacharite boxer or runner or something, they know they're running for La Raza. They understand that part. They understand that a loss don't mean a letdown for you and your team. It means the whole nation get let down. They understand that part. We need to get that all the way in there. If you're going to choose sports as a profession or anything, you get the point? You had to go in there and you better compete like your race depends on it. You understand? Like self-esteem comes from it. And that's what we draw. We draw self-esteem from these athletes. We absolutely draw it from the achievements. We feel like we won. You understand? It does something for us. It's different for the oppressor because what we feel when Mayweather wins or, some black team wins, white people wake up feeling like that. Because the TV tells them that. The cartoons show them winning. Every movie, Gladiator is a white man. You get the point? Everything. Troy with Brad Pitt is a white man. Game of Thrones, white men. Everything is telling them they're the best. They wake up feeling superior. You need a season to give you meaning. Say again? Exactly. You need that thing. The Avengers. He a purple man, but he white. The one with the chin. Right. Thanos. Right? He ain't white, but we know he ain't black. We know that part. You get the point? You need something. That's why Black Panther was so influential for us. Because we don't have it in us like how they have it. Go ahead.
It's lucky. They need all of that because in true reality, like in these sports, they see it's not true. It was a comedian I saw, and he was like, the trans is taking over the women's sports. Mm-hmm. And he said, I pray that they all trans take over the sport of women. So, then you wonder why he said that. Mm-hmm. He said, because then women will know exactly how it feels for somebody else to come in and dominate like us white boys with black people. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Listen, he said I would. Go ahead,
Come on, sir. This was a heavy burden on the one hand, but on the other, it represented a noble, time-worn responsibility. You always represent.
You understand? Like this was it was a heavy burden, but it was a noble burden. It was noble to know when you go on that track, you representing somebody. To a point, it's still evident today. You see it in track and field a lot. Judah is not running for America no more. They'll do that so they could get on the team. But when Judah get out there, they know you're doing it for your people. You get the point? Them Benjamites, when Usain Bolt gets on there, he know Jamaica is on his back. And by extension, the rest of the Caribbean is on his back. You understand? Like, we know what these sports mean for us. We understand what it means for us as a people. And it's done fell away from that. So he's giving you that backdrop there. And I chose that so everybody understands how deep he went into the psychology of the sports. All right? Let me see where else we go. Go ahead.
And it's so disheartening today when you hear athletes talking about, it's not my responsibility. I'm not a role model.
I'm not a role model. Because, and who you think tell them say that?
Agent.
Some small hat, brother. You got to understand, once you make somebody comfortable, they're open to anything. You know what I mean? They're open. Grab that light there for me. Out there. You could grab your water too in the meantime. I'm going to find the other thing. Once you make them comfortable. In the book here, I'm not going to read it tonight, but it's going to go through. It goes through how he explains that the athlete you take out of the suburbs, out of the inner city is totally different to what you polish up and put on the court. And it's a totally different bait game. And you could say certain things to him here, but you can't say that now when he's comfortable here. So when you hear athletes come out and say, you know, I'm not a role model, I'm just here to play basketball and blah, 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 blah. Brother, they done bought, you know, a $20 million house for your mom. They done give your cousin a job. They done, you know, bought you some Bentley, or leased it till you had bought whatever. And say, man, listen, look at what you're doing for your family. That's the people who love you. You don't owe them nothing. Where was the rest of them when you was poor on that streets in Southside, wherever? They come and they have psychologists analyze you. And then the psychologist will have a meeting with your agent and your handler. And they'll know exactly what to say to you. They know your character trait and your personality type. You know what I mean? If you're an alpha type, if you're a type like Ja Morant, somebody has to talk to you different than Kawhi Leonard. Because Kawhi Leonard, he ain't flashy and fronty. You get the point? They have people watching everything. You're watching your social media, seeing your friend circle from college, checking out everything. So when they come to you, brother, you best believe they done sat in a room and rehearsed that. And even the order they walk into the room is rehearsed. One of them pick you up, so and so, and they get the call. Hey, where you all at? Yeah, come by for lunch. You don't know that play was done run like a football play. They done run that play last night, and this is game time. This is hot when you in the car. And they just play you all the way in, and before long, you could get up on TV and say, hey, listen, man, listen, I don't care about that, you know, some. That doesn't bother me. You know, why are we talking about race now? I just won the championship. What can this be for me and my team? Like Terrell Owens when he cried for Tom Brady. That's my quarterback. That's years and years of conditioning with gifts. You understand? That's a far removed person from you representing the race now. You get the point? The whole thing, I'm skip ahead with that. All right, so that's where we are. Hold on, let me get some more. All right, what time we have? 8:50 or 40? 54. All right, I'm probably might get to the other one, but we're gonna finish this one at least. Get me a picture of Arthur Ruby Rose or Rube Rose. So okay, Arthur Rube Foster. Arthur Rube Foster. This is what the brother here looks like. All right. So you're going to read this caption under the picture and then the first paragraph on the next page. Right? But read everything. All right? You got the Ruby
that same picture.
Tawada. That'll work. Go ahead.
God. Arthur Ruby Foster was the founder of the first Negro National League and part of the Renaissance generation of African Americans in the 1920s. He sought to organize Black talent in order to empower and to energize the African American community.
You understand? Like that was his main, his focus, his mission. He saw what was going on. And he said, this thing needs to be organized. Because like I told you, them brothers was touring all over the place. I'm gonna find that documentary and post it. It's a little long, but there's parts in there. I mean, the whole documentary is good. They talk about how when they came to recruit certain people, they came before Jackie Robinson. And brother, you know, I think even with Jackie Robinson, they didn't pay for them brothers. At one time, the league was trying to keep them brothers. They said they don't want them brothers to go nowhere because it'll destroy the community, because the community is tied with the league. When they realized they couldn't keep them because the money they're offering them brothers just way too much, they say, okay, let's work in the contract where these white teams is going to buy, they're going to pay the team and the league for the brothers so the league could have money to grow more brothers. Then white boys came down there and gave them verbal agreements and contractual agreements and never paid. That's why the Negro Leagues died. Not just because players left. The white man is the goddamn devil.
That's right.
He's the devil. There's some sister who was running some team. I forget the name of the damn team. I'm going to look it up too. I think she was she in New York? And brother, she was shrewd with business, and she was holding them to the fire. And they ain't pay. They ain't pay. Money just dried up for the Negro Leagues. Because they say, you know what, we can't stop them players from going. They want to go, they want to make money. They'll come back and spend it home. But the league won't disappear if we don't get no sort of remuneration package for growing, for farming these players. Them white teams promised to pay and never paid. Never paid. Just screwed them over. Because really, they didn't care about bringing black excitement to the white leagues. They cared about destroying what we had. Right? Go ahead and read that.
Courtesy of National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
4. The Negro Leagues. The dilemma of myopia.
Mm-hmm. Myopia.
Mm-hmm. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Right? So he quoted the scripture in Proverbs, right? Myopia is a condition in which the visual images come to a focus, right, in front of the retina of the eye, resulting especially in defective vision of distant objects. Salaki, hold on. Number 2, a lack of foresight or discernment, a narrow viewing of something. And our people are by and large like that, and it's because of the oppression. Because of the oppression, you only care about right here. Yeah, whether it's physically right here or in time right here. You can't think about down the line because you got bills to pay. You got, you got things to do. You can't think about, doing this now for that. Because the oppression is so thick, it just, to you, thinking for the future is a waste of time. Because there's enough going on here. You get the point? I watch them videos on the internet with them white boys where they put like a pan on the step and something on the wall and a little cup. And they just got hundreds of these little table tennis balls. And they're just throwing it. And the aim is to make it bounce off something and land in the cup. I don't know if you've seen them videos. Or they set something up and like a domino effect with, books, and it throw down something and then it trips somewhere and a ball flow down and it knocks something down. And I sit there and I think, imagine the passive income or the disposable income they have to sit all day and not only just think about that, but set it up all day and do that. There's no conquering somebody like that, because they have time to think. They have a lot of time to think. They think about things it would never cross your mind because you got bills to pay. You understand? Okay. They got so much time because of the resources act. And they could think in the future and make all kind of 20, 30-year plans and they're just thinking because they're not oppressed. We are. And that myopia, it comes from that. It comes from that, which is why you got to come in the truth. Even when you come in the truth, it's a struggle to raise your head up and scan the field. It's like in sports where like basketball or the football you all play or the football we play. Every coach goes through something. Now, if you have brothers who play sports where they tell you lift your head up, turn so you can see the whole field, because naturally you concerned with I get the ball, I don't make these few steps, the yardage right here. But if you could look up, you could start seeing spaces and gaps and start a plan to get there. Now, you take that to life. You wake up in the morning. This is your life right here. Right here. This is it. You understand the type of oppression our people under? You understand, like this, you know, we live in a totally different life than them. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Where there's no vision, the people perish.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 29:18. If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes.
Read that again.
If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes, let me
yeah, please. Help me out. Help me out. Come on, brother. Come on. Let it flow. Come on.
If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes from integrating major league sports.
Slow down. You need some water?
I just had a burp.
Come on with it out.
If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes from integrating major league sports, Negro leagues offered a home.
All right. So now in the book, he went into what they call the jockey syndrome, right? The horse racing at one time, the jockeys was all brothers, right? All brothers. Why? Because the descendants of slaves, the slaves was handling the animals. They always called us boy. That's where you get the word cowboy from. And of course, those men is handling the horses. And we are not like white people. We able to bond with things more than the oppressor and people and animals. And we would handle the animal where the animal would respond to us. So the early horse racing, the jockeys were black. And you wanted a black jockey because they were better with the horses. And it gave us an industry at the time. And read it again from the top.
If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes.
So now you had the jockey syndrome where brothers started getting wealth from it or becoming prominent. And when there wasn't, if there was excluded, the horse team would suffer. The oppressors sought to replace those brothers. So it said the jockey syndrome evicted the tribe of Judah from sports, from integrating into the sports. Major League Baseball presented a home. The Negro Leagues, not Major League Baseball, the Negro Leagues presented a home for those displaced from the sport. You get the point? So they run us out of one industry. Negro Leagues open up. We could go there. You get the point? Again, the paradox of the whole thing is that if it is... Bakwash, go ahead. Salaki. Shalom. Yeah.
Okay. White man's the devil, the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
It's like, where were we?
Reading the book. When we read from the top. So
Yeah.
If the jockey syndrome evicted African American athletes from integrating major league sports, Negro leagues offered a home. As blacks were phased out of the integrated sports through legislation, intimidation, and coercion, they relied on a sports world of their own. Ironically, the suffocating humiliation of colored only and white only was the best thing that happened to the still developing community of African Americans only a generation or two out of slavery.
Slocky, real quick. That's a heavy point because what they're saying is they try to, shut down one industry and then starve another one as they're transitioning from one place to another. So you're taking money and food out of our community this way, and at the same time you're starving, the other way. For us to try and if you could, Barbara Shaw. Now you're gonna have to hit it over there. The water.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're trying to do is the only way for us to make any type of resemblance of a livelihood would have to come through them, the water. Yeah. Would have to come through them. So if we're ruling the industry and the jockeying industry, just like Kat was breaking out earlier, and we actually have some sort of, you know, success where we can be independent from, I wouldn't say independent, but if we can be, you know, structure wise, as far as, you know, we don't have to go to the oppressor. With that, I pass the class back to Captain Shot. We read about where they got starved off from the jockey and then went into tried to go into the Negro League.
Okay, yeah.
And they're starting that as well.
Go Carson. As blacks were phased out of integrated sports through legislation, intimidation, and coercion, they relied on a sports world of their own. Ironically, the suffocating humiliation of colored only and white only was the best thing that happened to the still developing community of African Americans only a generation or two out of slavery. Segregation forced African Americans into a spirit of cooperation.
Say it again.
Segregation forced African Americans.
Oh boy, that's such a it's such music to your ears. Segregation forced you to do something. Like taking away choice, that's how you survive something. That's how you succeed. Go ahead.
It's like when the Most High say, I will sever you from all people. Is what it kind of sounds like to me.
In a way, definitely in a way. But taking away the choice, taking away the choice of it. You're right with the sever. Go ahead.
God, so I was I seen a video on like over the road truckers and whatnot, and the industry is huge with people who were convicted felons because they had no choice because they couldn't get a regular job. So that was, you know, the kind of the only way for them to make their living legally and whatnot and be above the law, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the option of, you know, just having a regular 9-to-5 job was taken away, but they thrived in this whole industry over here. And just like we were saying, when you take away a choice, you know, take away options, you can kind of thrive somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. You could apply that to a whole lot of things. I'm gonna tell you what that could solve: divorce. Divorce in the black community is through the roof because people think they have options.
Right.
That the twin, the Mari girl, remember Tia and Tamara? I forget which one it was, but one of them is a dumb hoe, where she divorced that brother or was trying to divorce the brother. He's also an actor, and for whatever reason, God knows what, and she immediately went on the internet and started posting half-naked pictures and wearing booty shorts and just doing the most, trying to get attention. And a year later, she's depressed and she wants him back. And she said it's the biggest mistake she's ever fucking made. The choice is the problem. You think there's a choice. And when that's off the table, you could have some success. Because there's no alternative, I have to make this work. Apply that to the truth. You know why some people leave the truth? Because to them, the world is a choice. It's an option. It's an option. It's like, it's, you know what? I'll just leave. And go where, nigga? Like, that's what I'd be asking myself. Go where? And that's why people hold on to relationships in the world when you come into the truth. Because it's a safety net. It's you know, if this don't work out, like I always have, you all my real friends. But brother, you come in here, brother, and bridges is burned. Where am I going? Going back to what? Going back where? To do what? With who? What y'all gonna go do? Go to the hookah lounge? You know, you ain't supposed to be, the scriptures say. Nigga, scripture say what? You understand? The choice is the problem. Go ahead. Okay. We on the time. Listen, y'all go check Command and Journey YAHANNA. He gonna be live on Command and Journey YAHANNA tonight. Y'all go switch over, subscribe, like, and share. Share the live. He going in tonight about the draft, the bill that they passed for the draft. You'll go check him out tonight on Command and Journey YAHANNA channel, the same channel that Black Watch is on. Go check it out ASAP. He's gonna be on there shortly. They're live right now. But
so like, who are they gonna draft? Trans? So like,
listen,
what's his name? Dwayne Wade's daughter? Salaki.
Listen, this is what I had to say, right? Listen, they could draft every unborn child. Like, it's not gonna help them win no goddamn war. Yeah, I mean, their fate is not sealed. Let's get this out. Go ahead.
Segregation forced African Americans into a spirit of cooperation and nudged them towards a useful, if hazy, concept of unity.
Right? The spirit of the segregation forced the tribe of Judah into willful cooperation and a useful spirit of unity. Because there's no choice of joining this oppressor, we make, here heaven. Like there's a movie called Lackawanna Blues. If anybody ever seen it, with I think Della Reese. She's the not Della Reese, the other sister who look kind of favor each other. I think it's Della Reese, right? There's not Della Reese. The other sister. There's the other classically aged sister. That's a classic age right there, boy. Some of them sisters, they age so classic, you could tell in the days that was she was bad. That was a bad joint right there. And in the beginning of the movie, they was talking about the slavery and how, the segregation, like everywhere was hell. So we had to make a little piece of heaven for ourselves. And that's the opening narrative of the movie. And that's really where we have to go with the history of our people. We're going to have to make it heaven. We got to make the kingdom of heaven right here. And we have the blueprint. It's called the Bible. Right? Keep going.
Concept of unity predicated as much on survival as the true kinship. Segregation forced African Americans into a spirit of interdependence that celebrated a particle of existence that mainstream society attacked. Their humanity.
Hold on, pull it back again.
Segregation forced African Americans into a spirit of interdependence that celebrated the particle of existence that mainstream society attacked.
Salaki, I get lost. The woman name is S.E.P.K. Murkison. So them old school sisters be having them funny names. S.E.P.K. Murkison. But she's like the protagonist of the movie. She's like one of the main character of the movie, right? Read the part again.
Segregation forced African Americans into a spirit of interdependence that celebrated the particle of existence that mainstream society attacked.
Right.
Their humanity.
Right. We started, because of the oppression, started celebrating our own humanity. And was able to, form something that was substantial. Go ahead.
Pushed to the margins of society by de facto segregation and Jim Crow laws, scorned as outside others, and left to their own devices. African Americans built a range of businesses, banks, salons, hotels, restaurants, and theaters. In 19
Hold on, stop right there. Let me skip ahead, just for the time's sake. All right.
Almost ended perfect.
No sweat. So you see what the forced segregation did. It made us come together, and it made the Negro Leagues at that time. That was an industry that everybody could have just flowed into, right? Go ahead.
That's why I always tell people, like, I'm not voting for Trump and I'm not for Trump. But one thing that definitely happened when Trump was in office, the outright racism that he pushed and that they end up showing because of him made us bond together just a little
way more. Way more. You know what I mean? Way more. You're absolutely right, Dad. Hold on. All right, see right here on page 100, where it says historian. You're going to read the first line, historian. Then you're going to skip down to yet Ruby and go all the way over.
Oh,
Rube. I keep saying Ruby. Who the hell is Ruby? Who's Ruby Rose?
Ruby Rose, I think that's the young sister had something to do with segregation.
No. I think that's one of them young rappers, girls. They be one of them, influencer type bros. That's it's coming to me now. I see Ruby. I have to put the Rose right there. Go ahead.
Okay. Historian John B. Hallway has called Foster one of the most impressive figures in baseball history.
Mm-hmm.
You said drop down after that?
No, you could read on. Like he's one of the most impressive figures in baseball history because he put the Negro Leagues together. You get the point? He put that whole Negro Leagues together and organized it in a way where this was a damn near sanctuary for people displaced from other professions in the sports could come in there. And the Negro Leagues, it expanded because now the people who sew in the uniforms is sisters and black people making the shoes. The transportation is black people. The food is black people. Like you create a whole industry for your community. You get the point? And baseball is they're touring, like I told you before. They're touring, going different places, bringing back money, fanfare. It was a big issue. You get the point? So they say he's a very prominent in baseball history, which is probably why I still don't understand it. I ain't mad at it, but I still don't understand why they choose now to integrate the Negro Leagues into Major League stats. Because the Negro Leagues is going to blow Major League stats out of the water. You get the point? Go ahead.
He describes him as a combination of Christy Mathewson.
Right, you could skip down, Salakia. Drop down.
Yet Rube Foster has become a mere footnote in the epic story of sports integration in which Jackie Robinson is a central character.
Right? So now, over time, the oppressor make Jackie Robinson be the central character of the Negro Leagues and black baseball. When Rube Foster, that brother there, should have been more prominent, and now he's just a footnote. You don't even know who the hell he is. You ain't hearing that name no more, but everybody know Jackie Robinson. They make movies about him. Why? Because they want more Jackie Robinsons and less Rube Fosters. You understand what I'm saying? They want less brothers who's going to put something together for the people. Keep going.
In some ways, however, Foster is an even more significant figure than Robinson. Mm-hmm. Foster used black resources to build a baseball league that nurtured talents like Robinson while establishing an economically viable alternative to Major League Baseball.
You understand? Like this brother went ahead and built something that was for us. Like what Major League Baseball was to white people, the Negro Leagues was to us. And he said it built players like Jackie Robinson. Like that's what people are forgetting. Jackie Robinson wasn't good, just a one-off. There was many players like him. And that came from the Negro Leagues and what he built. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Like even in the movie, they show it how the owner started calling him boy and all that because he was one of them types that would, keep his head down and not say anything and just play the part.
Because, again, they handpicked him because he wouldn't rock the boat.
Right.
And of course, once you go there, you ain't trying to get sent back. The money they was going to give you, it wasn't white boy money, but it was nigger money.
Right.
You ain't got to go tour and ride no buses and really get to work to make this money. You get the point? You could just show up and be like, you know, a circus animal and get paid, which is really what he did with the major leagues. You understand what I'm saying? It was more, it's similar to how they bring, everybody know the name Messi. You all know that name, right? Without even knowing anything about football. Nobody knows the position he plays. Nobody knows what he did. But you bring him to America, why? Fanfare. They did the same thing with Beckham. I don't know you remember David Beckham. You know what team he played for, what's his position, what he did, what he didn't do. But they bring him at the end of his career because he's a superstar to integrate England into America and the world into America because they're trying to build what we call football in America. So they bring in them. That's what Jackie Robinson damn near did. You get the point? They brought that there to bring the excitement to a sport that really, you know, them white boys couldn't stand with these guys. You know, Willie Mays, and they couldn't stand with them. Keep going.
Okay. Robinson became a symbol of the process of integration, a process that ultimately enriched white institutions while weakening, in many cases, destroying black institutions. That's what it. Now, the only thing I don't think he went into the financial thing here, but he said Jackie Robinson became that thing that, as you know, greatly enriched the white institution, but at the same time, it destroyed ours. It absolutely destroyed ours, and that's what I was explaining to you in the other documentary I saw about the baseball brother. They took these brothers and didn't pay the teams or the leagues. And over time, sustainability wasn't there because now fans is watching the MLB because that's where those other players is going to and not really watching the Negro leagues. You get the point? It was happening. Go ahead. Hold on, let me see where you're at. We're going to wrap up shortly.
Underline, white America.
Okay, hold on.
Like on me.
Go ahead, please.
It really just brings in this full circle, you know, it brings a light that, you know, they can't be up unless we're down. And if we come up, they're down.
Well, that's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. You get the point? That's biblical right there, where it's the hand of man is between the heel and the hand of Jacob and Esau. It's the Gentiles gaining from the fall, how much the world would gain if we fall or if we rise in Romans, because that scripture is twofold. That's all over there. I think we might have to wrap it for time's sake, but it's going more into it. Just read a little bit more, the underline, and then skip down to the bottom of the page. Hold on. .106. Okay, so read that underline. You skip to the bottom of the page where it's underlined, and you go to the next page. You then skip to 106, right? That last paragraph down, and then we wrap. Okay. Go ahead. Salaki, go ahead, please, real quick.
White America determined the pattern of integration. The white power structure chose blacks who made whites feel comfortable. Salaki, you said skip right back down after that?
Read it again.
White America determined the pattern of integration. The white power structure chose blacks who made whites feel comfortable.
You understand? Like they decide who was getting integrated. They didn't want somebody there to just come knock home runs and thumb their nose at the white crowd and you say, well, you know, I'm doing this because I'm a nigga, I'm better than you. They wanted somebody there who would make these devils feel comfortable. You understand? They want the lion in the circus. You understand? They want that one. Go ahead.
Drop down or keep going.
That's the end of what's underlined? Right, drop down to the bottom.
Foster was also a pioneer, but not in the same way. His innovation wasn't being the first black in a white-defined institution. He was a
He was a man of clear, resolute, and an uncompromising vision.
Right? You had to be. He was a man that had a clear resolution. He was clear about his purpose, and that's how you're gonna have to be if you're gonna build something. You have to be. You have, how Jeremiah Hyman said, absolute certainty of purpose. You know what you're doing. You're not double thinking. You're not half stepping. You done made this decision, and he's doing it. And he had vision. Any more on the underline? Go ahead.
He wanted he wanted a professional league of black baseball that was owned, organized, managed, and played by African Americans.
Say it again.
He wanted a professional league of black baseball that was owned, organized, managed, and played by African Americans.
What's so wrong with that? That's not racism. That's love.
Right.
That's love. The Chinese man does it. The East Indian does it. The Ethiopians forget about it. And the Jewish man, I mean, that's it. You want something that's owned by your people, run by your people, employs your people, and circulates money for your people. What's so wrong about that? And they destroyed it, Ark. They destroyed it with promises and gifts, promises of gifts, and not keeping nothing. And quite frankly, them brothers should have turned down integration into the leagues. Jackie Robinson should have never did nothing, none of it. All them other brothers who followed him should have never did it. They should have stayed. They should have stayed, because you cannot get a white boy to go play in some other league in NFL or baseball or basketball. White boy, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna go build another league. He have some sort of patriotism. Go ahead. Is there any more on the line? Go to page 106. That paragraph at the bottom, read from the bottom there all the way through to the other page. The book is excellent to read. It gives you a whole breakdown on the history and the psychology that goes into our type of sports. It gives you a good insight into it. The book was a bestseller at the time. I think it still is. I'd advise brothers to get it. It's good to have in your arsenal. It's optional. It's not mandatory. But the book is excellent. Go ahead.
Okay. Forced to realize that the strength of the Black League wasn't just that it was packed with quality players who were otherwise denied a shot, but
right. So he realized now the Black League was strong, and it wasn't just strong because it was black. They had good quality players that stayed and played. Because why? I'm playing for my people. I'm playing for the hood. I'm playing for the north side, and we're gonna beat the east side, and the rivalry, and your woman in the stands cheering, and your kids there, and my son gonna be a outfielder or a pitcher or whatever. Like, that's what was happening now. And then there's money circulating. So damn. And after the baseball game, we go into the boom boom room, who owned by Johnson and his son, and the musicians is black, and the food in there is black, and the drink. You get the point, brother? We had a whole industry with this Negro Leagues out. Go ahead.
Okay. But that it had also developed a distinct through hard and
so hold on, read this again. Take your time, please.
But that it had also developed a distinct, though hard to define, Africanized style of playing baseball.
Right. The Negro Leagues was so strong and popular, not just because of quality players, but because we had our own nigger style of playing, just like basketball, just like football, just like anything Judah touches.
Right.
Get it? Put anything. It's Judah's gonna bring something to the game where he's looking at this and like, I wonder if I could do that shit that nobody in their mind would even think about doing. Nobody who play in the sport regularly would think about doing, and we'll go in there and do it. We'll go in there and do it, and it would revolutionize the sport. Gabby Douglas was one. You remember the gymnast girl who they call the flying squirrel? She's the one who went to Olympics with the Hebrew on her shirt, the Assyrian Hebrew. The other one, Simone Biles. They was doing stuff that they outlawed. They damn near had to stop Simone Biles from doing certain things because they say the routine she doing, other people they're not going to even attempt to do because it's just too dangerous. So they punish her because she's good? We need to be separate. We don't need to compete with lesser people. We need to compete with us. Iron sharpen iron. Wood don't sharpen iron, which is what they are. They're vessels of destruction. You get the point? Yeah. They're not vessels that could stand with us. We had to dumb down for them. Jackie Robinson then go there in his prime, you know. He was older when he went to the Major League Baseball. He wasn't prime and still was better. What are we talking about? That's say Messi. He's a white boy, but of course, that nigga is like 36, 37. He's way past prime for football. The nigga could come and walk around everybody who played in that MLS. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Okay. The style was characterized by exciting, daring base running, Spike's first slides into second base, and bunting for base hits. Foster's league became a showcase of this black style of ball, distinguished by non-stop rhythm.
Brother, the baseball was so exciting. Stealing bases, bunting for bases came from the Negro Leagues Act. Imagine that shit. Imagine that shit. Sliding in, studs first to the base. It's just common sense, right? No. So what was them white boys doing? Diving head first. Why would you even do that? Why would you even do that thing, Ark? Dive headfirst into the thing? For what? It just doesn't make much sense. It just doesn't make much sense. It's not exciting. And they talk about the constant rhythm, meaning it wasn't a lull in the game. The game was just so exciting and everybody hitting and everybody pitching. It's not like, strike one, strike two, like when two white boys up there. You have a brother pitching and a brother hitting, and that ball coming through and it's smoking. And if it ain't smoking, it's in the stands. And somebody's stealing and somebody's swinging and stop short and bunch right here just to get to the first. That was our style. And they brought that to Major League Baseball, and that's what Major League Baseball is today.
Right.
America's culture is black culture. From the music to sports, it's black culture. Without us, there would be no America on any level, and don't let nobody tell you different. The history says it. Without us, brother, they wouldn't have that thing going on today. And even the baseball today is still not exciting unless certain teams playing, and those teams have what? Black and Latino players. The most exciting player in the league right now is who? The brother from I think he's from Cuba, the one with the long hair, who was showed the time with when they said
baseball, sir?
Yeah, they said his bat was he put something on the bat to make him hit, and they switched the bat and he dispatched that in the stands, home run right after. And he's not a white boy, but he ain't making that white boy money though. You know what I mean? From Sammy Sosa to Papi. Remember Papi, Big Papi? You get the point? Ortiz. The other one there who was married to J-Lo. What's his name? Alex Rodriguez. This is our sport, Ark. And the energy that comes from it, everything we do, ye are the salt of the earth. For time's sake, I ain't going to even go into no more. Just understand that this whole thing with the Negro, America's life, they owe us for having America. They owe us for making America taste good, look good, feel good, good to watch, good to view. The children want to be us. They owe us for that thing, and they destroyed what we had to get it. Go ahead, quickly.
Like America would be Russia.
It would be Siberia. It would be that thing. Shit. Right now, Russia a little better off. Hell, with that, pass the class over the preset officer, Shapatak. Pass the book back to me. You can leave your phone in there if you want to, though. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna swipe left.
I.S.U.P.K is security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, it's like, you want me to start saying rules for new brothers and sisters?
Yeah, please. Say how it's supposed to be, all right?
Okay, sir.
Because see if you could just, redo it and correct it up. I might have a better copy. But go ahead,
sir. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashura. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, get to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whichever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, memorial blowing of trumpets, first day of the 7th month, Wednesday the 2nd, October 2024. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Also, we got the cookouts. Atlanta, July 4th through 7th, Midwest Cookout, Detroit, August 1st through 4th, the headquarters, New York, August 30th through September 2nd, the Southern County Cookout, September 26th through the 29th, Houston Cookout, October 31st through November 3rd. You know, if you haven't done so, make your travel arrangements and book your hotels. So you got anything else you want to add?
No, I think you covered all the cookouts, right?
Cookouts.
Pay your tithes and go check out Commanding General YAHANNA right now. He's on right now, Commanding General YAHANNA, the channel. Go check it out, like and share ASAP going into that draft. All right, go ahead.
Remind Alchemy Aqua, and check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband or scarf. And with that, I say I.S.U.P.K, which means to stand.
Go ahead.
We'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, I.S.U.P.K, Baruch, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat.
Y'all give him a time, class dismissed.